Hey, Milky here, back again with another video for MarvelSNAP. Today we got a bit of a change of pace. We're actually going to be reviewing and playing some of the decks which was proposed and put forward by Ben Brode, who is the Chief Development Officer at Second Dinner. If you don't know who Ben Brode is, he is one of the great minds, one of the geniuses behind Hearthstone, but also now behind MarvelSNAP. He's their Chief Development Officer and someone who loves playing the game, deck building, and theory crafting all around that. So recently, Ben Brode did an interview with IGN, and I'll link that video in the comments below. But essentially, he put forward what they're calling the best decks to play in MarvelSNAP, but I think it's just more of his favorite decks or fun decks to play. In the video, he puts forward these three very different decks, talks about what the strengths are, talks about how to play the combos in the deck, and why he thinks they're really, really strong. What we're going to do today is we're going to jump in and take a look at these decks, as well as try them out in some games for us. We're going to take them for a spin and see how they go. So let's first jump in and take a look at the decks. Alright, so kicking things off in no particular order, the first deck that we have here is the Beast deck by Ben Brode. This looks like a really quite an interesting Falcon Beast kind of bounce deck. We have played around with bounce decks before. They're really fun for sure. But I really like the strong on-reveal effects that we have throughout the early game. Things like Agent 13, Electra, Iceman, Korg. Really like the inclusion of Hood as well. I think Black Widow can throw a bit of spice in the mix in terms of stopping card draw and maybe doing that across multiple turns. We've also got the Collector in there to benefit from all of this kind of random card game that we're going to have throughout the game for sure. And we've also got things like Debris, so to clog up board space on the opponent's board, as well as potentially being able to bring those back to our hand for sure. I really like this deck. I think it's quite interesting, and I'm keen to give it a crack. Alright, so next up we have the Butthead Deck, and I think this one was coined by his son. It looks like very much like a give him junk, give him like some rubbish kind of deck, where you kind of potentially flood both of the boards with lots of like interesting or negative kind of cards, and then you kind of continue to give them negative things throughout the game, whether it be rocks with Debris, negative cards with Viper, it could be Goblin, and then just try and be as disruptive as possible. I really like some of the inclusions in this deck, like Carnage and Nova and Hood. I think that can work really, really well together. I don't mind seeing a Hazmat in there. That looks interesting too. We're keen to give this one a go and see how it fares for us. Alright, so rounding out the three decks, this one we have the Omega Red deck, and this is probably the one that I'm most keen to try out. It looks really interesting the way you play it out. I haven't played a lot of Omega Red decks, so that's probably an interesting thing for me to kind of learn and pick up on as we play games in this video for sure. But he talks about in the video this really awesome combo where you've got an Invisible Woman on 2, and then you kind of just play out turns 1 and 3 just as normal, getting out some ongoing cards. But then you have an Invisible Woman down on the board, and then behind her you hide the Omega Red, the Iron Man, and the Onslaught. And for the most part, you're going to be winning that location, but then you're going to be providing this really strong, like 10 power buff across the board on the final turn with Omega Red. Sometimes it's going to be really hard to answer, so I'm really interested to see how this one's going to work out. You've also got a secondary win condition with Spectrum because you've got lots of ongoing cards in your deck as well. I kind of even like the tech card of Awatu in this situation. It can be quite interesting to potentially see some locations early. So this looks like a really interesting one. I'm really keen to try it out. So that's a quick look at the three decks put forward by Ben Brode in his interview with IGN. I must say I really like some of these decks. I find them really, really interesting. I'm not sure that they're going to be the top tier meta decks that are just going to be flooding the ladder, but I really like that they're a fresh take on some archetypes. They do things differently. They're a point of difference out there. They're not the same decks you're going to be seeing over and over on the ladder. So I'm really keen to try them out for sure. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some games with these decks, test them out, take them for a spin, and see how they go. All right, so we're going to jump in with this Mega Red deck by Ben Brode. This is the one I'm looking forward to trying out the most, right? I haven't played a lot of Omega Red, so there's going to be a few things we've got to figure out along the way, but I think the combo seems pretty straightforward for the most part. If we had Omega Red here, we'd definitely YOLO out Ebony Maw. Washington, D.C. is an interesting one. You just go ahead and get out armor here. Really armor Ebony Maw here, and then, like, at the moment, we're Neymaring in right. So that's actually really significant. With no Spectrum either. What do we do here? we're gonna block his destruction here, which is actually gonna be huge. So, I think we just flood. We just flood. Korg. Is this Iceman? Beast. Okay, so he's actually running a beast deck. Interesting. This is probably similar to the Ben Brode beast deck that we were seeing earlier. So turn 5 cards cost 1 more. So we're still hanging out for Omega Red here. Maybe we should have Namor'd here, since this one's going to be tough to beat. Probably needs Spectrum, I think. Is this Falcon? I think he's got a Falcon here. With all these things costing 1, he Falcons all of this back. Yep, yep. Drew perfectly with that deck. Okay, so no Invisible Woman. I mean, we don't have another option here. Yeah, we don't have another option. We just have to go down this route. Spectrum gives us a bit of an option, but man, I don't know. I don't think we win this. He just has so many cheap cards in hand, right? So surely he wins middle, right? You've got to assume that he wins middle, and he wins. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get out of this one. I think this was really just an example of this deck drawing really, really well, and locations and draw not being with us on this one. So we're going to go ahead and get out of this one, but I think we would have come close. I think we would have come close here. So jumping into another one, got Dark Dimension. So Dark Dimension is actually an Invisible Woman for us, right? So I think we're going to go and hide the combo there as much as we can. We do also have Invisible Woman, which is... But we're going to get out Invisible Woman anyway, because that's cool. And what is the final location here with Uatu? We have the Peak. Okay, so the Peak is amazing for our Iron Man. It's a little bit negative for our Omega Red. But because this swaps, I think this is going to be fine. So let's go ahead and do this. Scorpion's a big whip on our hand. Dies to Danger Room. The Peak will... that our Scorpion was actually very good for our Mr. Fantastic 2. And actually helped our Omega Red too, because you're not all that worried about the power on Omega Red. So we can... We've got so many options here with this one. I'm just really hoping this lives. Really hoping this one lives. I think we're actually okay to get out Iron Man here. And... I guess just getting out power here is fine too. How do we ensure we win this location? Well, I don't think we even need to do that. Let's go ahead and do this. Wow, it doesn't play a single thing. It must have been pretty rough for his hand then. Uatu's dying's kind of just whatever. That's fine. I really want to snap here, but I'm afraid he's going to run. I am afraid he's going to run. Ant-Man just kind of sits here until the end of the game. We'd love Onslaught here, but... I think we're going to try and grab some value with Punisher here, too. That's okay. So what we'll do is we'll do this. Actually, not 100% certain that we actually fully win this location, but we'll do our best.
Iron Man.
We'll do our best with this one. Punisher kind of going off. Got a big Spectrum play. It's a fantastic final turn for us. The Doom's not... The Odin. The Odin might actually... No, it won't do it because the location's full. That was a cheeky play by him. That was definitely a cheeky play by him. Nice swap with the Doom. So 5-6 with Odin. But yeah, we essentially had 2 invisible women this game where we could hide stuff and play it out. So yeah, nice one. Worked out for us. All right, going in for another one. We kick off with Shadowland, right? Don't have any great combo in hand, but I don't mind Ant-Man over there. We're probably going to be filling up that location. Potentially. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, sorry. Central Park. My gosh. We got there in the end. Doesn't do a lot for us for sure. So... What are we going to do here? We Invisible Woman over here? We Invisible Woman mid? Let's go into Central Park. I don't know. Maybe. Just the YOLO swarm out. Interesting. Oh, that's really annoying. Now we can Punisher here and Spectrum later on. Yeah, what is our other play? Blade and Ebony Maw. Don't really like that one. I actually don't hate the Punisher play here. It seems kind of weird, but we'll go ahead and do it. We'll see how we go. So maybe he didn't have Apocalypse in hand. Look, we can't play these cards because of Spectrum, right? These are just dangerous cards to play. Look, we got another turn to see what we draw, but at the moment, we can't really play anything. Is he going to get our combo? Don't tell me that. We just really hope we don't hit Spectrum here. Oh, actually, sorry. I have Invisible Woman, so I can actually hide this stuff. What I should have done is I should have hit Ebony Maw. Then I could have played this. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the Invisible Woman here. Do we hit Spectrum here? Do we hit Spectrum? Look, let's try it. Let's try it. I don't know.
I am Iron Man.
Okay, we got lucky. We got very lucky there. Chavez. So he doesn't have Onslaught, so this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Well, I don't think it matters. Because he needs to play something in here to win it, and he needs to play something over here. I don't know. Let's see. It's kind of weird. Apocalypse, so he gets the +4 across the other locations, but we're gonna get it out in middle. Yeah. I mean, he went really hard into Weird World. I guess he had to. We were just lucky that it didn't discard Apocalypse and it discarded Onslaught. The Onslaught would have put us in a bit of a tight spot. But hey, nice one. We got it out, even with Weird World. Kicking on with this this Beast deck. Let's shoot Gilia. Don't want to be doing that. I think we'll go ahead and get Korg out. Save Agent for Collector. Got a nice hand for the Collector, actually. Really nice hand. Okay. Okay. We got a great little combo here. We got all the cards we kind of need with the Collector. For the most part. Okay, so this looks like a Patriot deck, so we don't want to be playing Debris this game. If we get Debris. Just need to think about what we're picking up here. So we can... We can do this. We can do... Actually do Falcon and Beast next turn, which probably... That's never going to be the play, but... We, I think we go with this. I'm not super keen to play into Lechigelia. Okay, so that's fine for us. That's still fine. So we'll probably be beasting this location here. I think what we can do is... So, demoning first makes no sense. But, so what we can do is we can play Electra, and we can play Demon, and we can do Beast. And then brings it all back to our hand, and then we can sweep some things up again with Falcon next turn. We are shuffling a lot of rocks in our deck here. We also aren't going to be able to do the Falcon play. There's so many rocks in our deck right now. But you know what? We love it. We love it. So many rocks. The awkward thing about this is we can't actually do this because this is not going to go off. So... This isn't going to go off either, so that ain't work. Nothing actually works here, so... I think we save Demon for over here. And we just pass. We just pass. White Tiger. That is horrible for him. I'm not sure why he did this. Okay, and then he retreats. Cosmo White Tiger. Alright, so continuing on with this Beast deck, we have Knit of Leer straight off the bat. I don't mind dropping Iceman in there. We have a pretty nice early hand. I'd love to see some cards where we can bounce back, or we can benefit from bouncing. That would always be nice. Ooh, I saw something flash here for a second. I think we'll go ahead and get Black Widow out here. Really no point just sniping this right off the bat. I wonder what deck they're playing. Maybe a hand size. Maybe they're playing a bounce deck too. Who knows? Okay, so Mirror Dimension. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so we've got the... What would we be bouncing back? I think we'd be bouncing back the Iceman because of just how cheap it is. So do we go ahead and do this? We'd love to get either Falcon or Beast here. That would be great pulls. Go ahead and snipe out this this Agent 13. Widow's Bite, okay, and Killmonger. Okay, so Killmonger's a bit rough for us for sure, but better to have it out now than later on. So we really don't have anything to Beast here. Get a small amount of Nakia value here. I think this is still going to be our play. Could also do this. There's a lot of ruins out on the board right now. I don't know if the Nakia is worth it. If the debris might be better here. I think maybe the debris is just better. Actually works out to be exactly the same amount of power. So let's go ahead and debris. Ooh, I'm glad we didn't give him the full value of the Carnage. Or even more value, I mean. Thanos, okay. That's a fun one. I think our final turn is kind of like all said and done for us here. We do this and this. Do we even do that? This is going to go to a 10. We're going to pull Agent 13 back to our hand with a bunch of rocks. This would be way nicer to have Beast, but I think this is going to be the play. And maybe we're giving up, we're pseudo giving up that location, right? I think this is the play. We're kind of saying, hey, what have you got for us? Vision. Okay. So Beast isn't going to help us. I think this is our play, and hopefully he just doesn't win both. I don't see him playing into the ruins more. This, like, at our turn, essentially gives us 3 winning locations. If he moves this here, it's interesting. Can he beat 9 power? Oh, he had leader. He had leader. All right, now we're jumping into the Butthead deck, which seems like a lot of fun. We could absolutely just clog up this location here for him. Then we do that. We'll go ahead and give him something. We can Viper it. We can Debris. And it cause all sorts of mess for him over here. Might even get the value out of Carnage here, right? We're going down this play line. This looks fun. This looks like a fun play line. Hopefully we give him the hood. One can only hope. Okay, so we give him a Raptor. That's fine. And we'll, what do we want to do here? So we can Carnage this. Carnage here is safer. Debris is funnier. Wait, Debris actually loses us this lane. Because we can't... Alright, let's go ahead and Carnage. And then we'll... Oh, okay, so spicy. Very spicy. The spicy Ironheart. So I think... Are we filling this up with... Do we ever get value out of this because we have Spider-Woman? Maybe we do, hey? Maybe we do. And we just line up for like a massive Spider-Woman this turn? Next turn? He has Prio, so if he slams a White Tiger here... What is this? Hazmat. Well, doesn't he have way more cards than us? Okay. How do we lose this? Okay. The Hazmat play was interesting for sure. But with the the amount of cards he had, that was never going to go well. Dark Dimension, interesting. Essentially an invisible woman here. I don't know how well it's going to do with this deck, but let's see. We can hood here. Just YOLO hood into the unflipped location. Mindscape. Okay, can be interesting for sure. We just take the Carnage now. I'll be able to hold off on the Carnage one turn. Daredevil? Okay. Daredevil into Mindscape. Interesting. And we're going to have 2 turns of each player's hands. So that's interesting for sure. We can give them the hood, which is not bad. Maybe we're not using Carnage this game. That's kind of fine too. We can also move their cards here with Polaris. Potentially move Daredevil over. We'll probably move Daredevil over, I assume. Or unless he plays something. Goblin looking alright too. So many different plays we can make here. So this gives them power and we double down. So I think this is the play. We can really block up this lane for them with Goblin, maybe Polaris as well. This is good for us because he can't Professor X us. Well, not easily. So we want to do this and just pull something across as well. I mean, we don't have to do that this turn, right? We did this before he starts to get a read with Daredevil. So let's do this. Then we can do this. I think this is okay. We might completely block him up in the middle with bringing the hood across, but then he also might, like, shift over to Limbo now. We'll have to see what he does here. I don't know what that could be in Dark Dimension. It's a 4-cost turn, but I don't know what it would be. This game is really weird because he's going to get our Spider-Woman, he's going to get our Carnage. Actually, this is absolutely horrible for us. I completely forgot about Mindscape. Completely forgot about Mindscape. Oh no, wait, that's actually fantastic for us because we were going to give him a Carnage. We were going to give him a Carnage and he would have been able to clean up that Goblin and that hood. But now he's stuck with that. So, And we gave ourselves a Widow's Bite, which is always, you love to see that. We're never playing that. So we just Mr. Sinister here. We can Mr. Sinister here for a little bit of a surprise factor. He's got to assume that that's the Widow's Bite, right? So he's going to Carnage. He's going to Carnage all this, which is what it is. I'm going to have to try and flip it here and we just go in on... Try winning away 9 power Dark Dimension. It's a coin flip. This is the ones that come down to a coin flip here. So he thought we were playing in there. We weren't. I don't know if his 2 cards here, they could definitely be enough. Sure, Wong and Scarlet Witch. Depends what this flips to. Flips twice. Goes to nowhere. We get out the win. Crazy game. Crazy game. Alright, so that's it. We jumped into some games with each of these decks and we played them through. For me, the most successful and most enjoyable by far was probably this Omega Red deck. I really enjoy the way it kind of curves out throughout the game. Multiple win conditions with your big Omega Red combo, but also with Spectrum as well. It felt really, really pretty solid to play, actually. Love the addition of Invisible Woman as well. I think that adds some, adds a little bit of cheekiness to the way you can play it out. And yeah, this one was definitely probably my favorite for sure. The Butthead deck was pretty interesting as well. I think this is probably the second most successful deck does have a lot of different ways you can really negatively affect your opponent. There's you can give them negative things, you can negatively affect their board, you can do some really random and unexpected plays. So I think it does well in that sense. Probably not quite as successful or as consistent maybe as the games that we had with the Omega Red, but this one was definitely fun for sure. And if you're into that style of deck, I can see how this can be really, really enjoyable for a lot of players. Lastly, we have the Beast deck, and this deck is really, really fun when you have the cards. But if you don't draw the right cards in the right order, it does fall a little bit flat for me. It's a lot of fun though in saying that, and I can definitely see why this is in his deck list for sure. We didn't have the greatest games with it. You can definitely high roll and get some perfect play lines with this deck, and it is a lot of fun, as I said, but maybe not quite as consistent. And for me, I'm not going to be using it for my ladder climb. All right, so that's going to wrap us up for this one. And the overwhelming favorite for me being this Omega Red deck. This is probably going to be something that I'm going to take, maybe tweak a little bit and play around in some of my games for sure. Hey, let me know in the comments if you like this style of video. It's a change of pace. It's something different. So let me know if you like it, and we can do more of this stuff down the track. All right, I had a ton of fun filming this one, but that's it for me today. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that good stuff. And until the next one, I'll see you then.